Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 81 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 25. Night 81 means we've got 19 days left to go. Man, we're getting towards the end. Still seems like there's a lot of people in the house, considering that we only have 19 days. That's going to change quickly, though, with the double eviction coming up on Thursday. But that's next week. We still have a little business to take care of this week. Let's talk about the veto competition, because we do have a veto winner from yesterday. The veto was won by Jag. Yeah, I feel like I just ought to have a recording. I'll do just like Big Brother does. I'll have a button that I can push. It just says, winner of the veto was Jag. That way I don't have to say it every time. Yes, Jag has won again. If I'm counting correctly, it's his fifth comp win in a row, his seventh total so far this season. Now, part of it, obviously, he's a comp beast. He's doing fantastic. The other part of it, they've done a pretty good job about getting out the competition, getting out Hisam's, Jared's, Corey's, anyone who could potentially beat them at a competition. They've thrown into the side as quickly as they could. So that is certainly helping Jag's case right now. Who else is going to be winning competitions going forward? Is this just a cakewalk because they've gotten everyone else out? Could be. Jag has won the veto again in the veto competition, so he'll control everything going forward for this week. The other thing as well, just keep in mind, there's no more backdoors possible. Everyone is going to be playing in every veto competition going forward. So even if he can't compete in HOH, between him and Matt, a lot of veto wins I'm expecting going forward as we continue. All right, apparently, let's talk about the veto itself. Apparently, it was a timed event with each house guest competing individually. Cirie did not get to compete. Now, I'd mentioned that yesterday, that she did not get picked for the draw. Apparently, Blue actually looked inside the box after they got through the draw just to make sure Cirie's chip really was in there. It was. There's nothing screwy going on with production or anything else. She just has horrible luck. So, yeah, Cirie not getting to compete with this veto as well. But apparently, it was a timed event, each house guest competing individually. Somehow involved running back and forth and putting pictures of items with house guests. Maybe seems like it was more of a memory competition than anything else, with maybe a little bit of a physical element involved. It's kind of reminding me back in season 23, there was a comp where they were in a locker room type deal and they had to put different events together for that season. Sounds like maybe it was something like that. But anyway, some kind of probably a memory comp. As far as we know, we'll find out more once we see it on the actual episode, because obviously we didn't get to see the live feeds of it. Now, here's something that's interesting. Jag won. Are we surprised at this point in time? Nah, not really. But second place was Blue. Yes, Blue almost did. Now, I don't know how close the times were to each other, but Blue came in second place. This is likely going to only further reinforce Jag's desire to get out Blue, since he wants competition threats gone. She was already the target, but now if she's showing yet again that she maybe is the best competition out there that's not part of this group, then yeah, they definitely want her out. So hurts to come in second. If you're not going to win first, you might as well slide as far back as you can. Didn't work out that way. So yeah, Blue came in second. Second doesn't matter in this game. It's all about first place, which is Jags. All right, the feeds did return about, I don't know, 2:30 or so. Big Brother time. We saw Jag wearing the veto necklace, so we knew what was going on. Felicia's complaining that maybe she didn't quite understand the significance of some pictures. She keeps saying, "What's that robot got to do anything?" I'm assuming maybe it was that was Zingbot. Maybe, I don't know, but she was complaining about that a little bit. Matt is upset that he didn't do better. Apparently, just like the other competitions, they only put up the top 3 times. He wasn't one of the top 3 times, and just not feeling like he did well at all. So yeah, not feeling great about that. Now, here's the thing: perhaps from a safety standpoint, Matt didn't need to win this veto. He's good. It's not like he's going to get put on the block anyway, and maybe he keeps some of the pressure off of him by not winning this veto. But is there any way that he can beat Jag with such a disparity in comp wins if it comes down to Jag and Matt on the block together? I know Matt's got his social game, Cirie and all these people that really like Matt, and maybe they would vote for him because of that. But with so many competition wins from Jag, I've got to be thinking from Matt's standpoint, it's looking less and less likely that you could beat Jag. I think personally, in a jury vote. I guess it depends on what kind of jury we end up getting. But is there a point where Matt decides that he's going to jump off the Jag train and maybe have to do something a little more radical in terms of who he wants to sit with in a final two chair? Not sure we're there yet, but you got to be thinking it if Jag keeps on winning these things. So we'll keep that on alert and watch and see as we go forward. All right. So we did have that. Now, as we get a little bit later in the afternoon, Blue has decided that she is going to make naan bread for Jag. It's an Indian bread. I love it. I love Indian food. I love naan. I can eat way too. It's like naan bread is like the breadsticks at Olive Garden. You start eating and you can't stop. It's fantastic. So Blue has decided that she's going to make some naan bread. I think it's spelled Naan if you want to look it up, but she's going to make some naan bread. She kind of knows what the ingredients are, but she has no desire. She has no real knowledge of what the quantities are, the amounts that she should put in. So she's just kind of going to kind of wing it. It takes a little while. She kind of has to balance it out. A little soupy. She ends up putting probably a lot more flour than she planned in there, but eventually she kind of got it balanced out all right, and seemed to do a pretty good job with it. Other than maybe it being a little bit salty, according to Jag. Other than that, it looked good. So props to Blue for figuring out a new recipe with that. I do think it's funny that she's making naan and Jag just happens to have just won the veto competition, and she's making something that he really likes. So yeah, I'm sure it's just coincidental, right? Yeah. I'd be doing the same thing actually if I was in there. All right, but yeah, so she made a little dinner for the evening for the house guests, an Indian dinner. We've got many of the house guests in the comic room at one point. Blue's outside working on that. America is upstairs. Pretty much everyone at one point or the other is in the comic room. However, they're talking about the veto competition. They're talking about upcoming competitions. What kind of comp could it be? Jag finally said he thinks that maybe we're not going to get slip and slide. Yeah, as much as he's been talking about that, he's finally backing off that a little bit. But they're talking about vetoes, comps coming up, just a bunch of random stuff at this point in time. But as I said, everyone's up there more or less, except for America, who is upstairs in the bumper pool room, just looking a little sad and forlorn at this point in time. Eventually, Jag comes up and checks on her, gives her a hug. She's telling him, she's saying, yeah, obviously I miss Corey a little bit. I'm feeling a little sad because of that. But she's also telling Jag that she just doesn't know that it would make a lot of sense for her to be downstairs and having fun with everyone else if she's actually the target, and that really maybe she needs to be playing that she's sad and lonely and not necessarily having a blast with everyone else to keep up the ruse that she's a target and not Blue. Jag understands. He tells her, says, just so you know, I've got the veto now. You are good this week. You're going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And I think she will be. Well, I say that Thursday's a long way away, but I think Blue definitely is the one in trouble this week. All right. Bowie comes up a little bit later, and she begins a bumper pool game with America. Apparently Bowie and Corey were keeping score while Corey was in the house. And so now America is taking over for Corey and not doing so well against Bowie. So they're playing this long running tournament against each other up in the bumper pool room. So while they're doing that, Matt's gone into the HOH room with Jag. And this is where it gets interesting. We have a new development, a new little wrinkle in the plan that takes up the whole rest of the evening. Jag is telling Matt that right before the veto competition began, Felicia came up to him and said that Cirie had told Blue that she was... I cough right in the middle of the big reveal, so I'll just start all over again. Jag is telling Matt that Felicia came up to him right before the veto competition and told him that Cirie had told Blue that she was the actual target this week, not America, that Blue is the actual target and that she absolutely needs to win this veto or she's going home. So yeah, Felicia is spilling the beans, throwing Cirie under the bus with this information. Felicia told Jag that she didn't know why Cirie did it. Jag is telling Matt that he believes Felicia and that Cirie has sold Matt and Jag out. in revealing this information to Blue. So yeah, where is this thing going to lead to? Jag is saying that this means that they can't trust Cirie anymore, that it doesn't change this week. They're not going to target Cirie this week. They're still going to send Blue out the door, but it's important that they know that they can't trust Cirie going forward. Jag is figuring that Cirie probably did it to try to build some trust with Blue, just in case Blue did stick around this week, that she wanted to be as close as possible to her. That's probably why she did it. It doesn't matter. She sold them out. She can't be trusted. She'll pay somewhere down the road. Not this week, but on down the road, they're going to keep that in mind. Now, I don't know at this point in time if Felicia is being truthful or not when she tells Jag that Cirie talked to Blue. Did Cirie really talk to Blue, or is Felicia just saying this to throw Cirie under the bus? Cirie did tell Blue that she needed to win the veto, but I'm not sure if she actually told her that Blue was the target this week and was going to go home. Not real certain at this point in time. I certainly think it's possible that Cirie was hinting to Blue that she ought to play hard for this one, because we know that Cirie already suspected that Blue could be the actual target. So based on that suspicion, she very well could have hinted to Blue that maybe she needed to not throw this veto in, fight hard for this one, Blue. We'll find out as we go through the evening itself. So here's the bigger question. Well, I guess it's a big question. Did Cirie really say this or not? But the other question, why did Felicia tell Jag this information? Why did she go forward with this and throw Cirie under the bus? Well, I think one, it was a hope that if the veto was used, that it would, that Cirie maybe would go up instead of Felicia. I have a feeling Felicia suspected that if the veto was won by, say Blue, and the, and it was used, that Felicia could go up in her place. So she's trying to throw Cirie under the bus, see if Cirie could go up instead. I certainly think that could be part of it. Also, perhaps to ensure that she is above Cirie in this Final Four. Remember, Cirie and Felicia and Matt and Jag supposedly have a Final Four. So maybe Felicia's feeling like they're a little too close to Cirie and not close enough to Felicia. So she's throwing Cirie under the bus, try to move up a spot in this group. And maybe it's just Felicia's just paranoid about everything. And it could be also that Felicia really believes in this Final Four, and that she sees Cirie starting to wander, and she's doing it strictly as a way to get the guys to try to pull Cirie in. It could be completely innocent reasons. I don't think so. No, I think it's a little bit more than that, but it doesn't matter. The key is that whether Cirie told Blue or not exactly what she told her, Felicia has now told Jag. It's going to create all kinds of divisions within this group, and we're going to see what happens going forward. Now, here's another big question. Now that Jag has told Matt what happened, is Matt going to go back and tell Cirie that Felicia threw her under the bus? Because we certainly know that Matt and Cirie are tight as well. So is this going to get back to Cirie what Felicia did, and how's that going to affect all of these relationships going forward? It could be a fun next couple of days. All right, we've got Felicia and Cirie talking to each other, wondering what Jag will do with the veto now that they know that he's won, that he has the power this week. They're talking about the fact that even though he can't play in HOH, he can still play in all the veto comps going forward. So that's certainly a concern of theirs. They're complaining about the fact that everyone had been down in the comic room, as I mentioned, right? But that as soon as Matt and Jag left, that Bowie Jane hopped up and followed right behind them, that she's just following around everywhere they go. Bowie Jane is going as well. All right, we've got Blue now in the HOH room with Matt and Jag. Blue's doing her own following around a little bit. So Blue's up there with Matt and Jag, and she's saying that Thursday is a double. That's going to work perfectly so that she and Matt can both win an HOH. They can both get baskets, photos, etc. together. It's just going to be a fantastic Thursday. Well, slow your roll, Blue. You may be getting some photos and things like that, but it may be on the way to the jury house as opposed to sitting up in the HOH room. It's looking like. But yeah, she obviously, she's either doing a fantastic job at hiding the knowledge that she's now the target, or she doesn't have a clue at this point in time. I'm kind of going with the latter at this point, which means that maybe Cirie didn't tell Blue quite as vocally as Felicia led on with it, but because right now Blue seems very happy with the way everything is going at this point in time. Now, the fact that Blue is acting so relaxed, is that going to make Matt and Jag question whether Cirie actually told Blue or not, as Felicia claimed? Are they going to wonder about that? Yeah, they'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, Bowie Jane does come in eventually. Blue leaves at some point, and Jag is telling Bowie and Matt, saying nominations aren't changing this week. It's Blue, it's America on the block, and Blue's heading out the door. Bowie is saying that America said she was going to keep her suitcase packed, so that Blue would continue to think that America is the target. So America telling Bowie this, that she's playing her role. She's going to pretend like she's still the target, so that Blue doesn't suspect anything. And she's told Bowie this, and Bowie's now passing this on to Matt and Jag. And a little bit later, Bowie Jane leaves to go downstairs as well. Now, it seems like a pretty innocent, innocuous little statement, right? Well, Jag has realized that America telling that to Bowie is basically telling Bowie that she knows that she's not the target, that Blue is the target. And remember, Jag told America that if you tell anyone that you're not the target, you will become the target. You have to keep your mouth shut if you want this to work. Well, now it turns out she's kind of revealed to Blue, and Jag has noticed that. But Jag is saying that America must have assumed that Bowie Jane was in on the plan to target Blue, that she already knew about it, so that Bowie Jane didn't really count in terms of what Jag had said to her. And he's saying, so, that's okay, but she better not have told anyone else. If she's told anyone else, then that's a different story. So yeah, Jag's certainly paying attention to that. Jag is saying that he thinks Felicia told him about Cirie saying this to Blue, because she wants to save America and get out Cirie, as a possibility instead. So he thinks that Felicia's up to all kinds of no good, perhaps. He's saying that he's reconsidering their final five now, to not include Cirie. So yeah, on the one hand, he's kind of wondering if Felicia has some ulterior motives, but he's believing what Felicia told him. And so he's saying, as far as this final five, maybe Cirie doesn't need to be in it if she's going to sell us out the way she did. He's telling Matt that Matt trusts Cirie too much. He's always trusted Cirie too much, that maybe he needs to back off just a little bit in terms of what he says and how closely he is with Cirie. So Matt's certainly trying to defend Cirie a little bit, but Jag's kind of done with Cirie. Yeah, they don't even know for certain what was said, what wasn't said, and they were already making all these declarations. I don't get why they don't pull people into a room and ask a few questions, but it's not the way it's being done this season. So yeah, he's telling Matt, you just trust Cirie too much, I think. He's saying that Felicia also said to him that maybe he needs to reconsider who he's going to go after. And Jag took that to mean that maybe she was suggesting that Cirie should go up on the block instead. So again, he's thinking that Felicia maybe said this as a way to actually get the target on Cirie, as opposed to say America or Blue, either one. All right, Jag is thinking about telling Bowie what Felicia said, so that Bowie Jane will feel closer to Matt and Jag, and so that Bowie Jane will feel a bit more inclined to go after Cirie if she thinks Cirie has sold them out. So he's thinking about telling her. Eventually he does mention it as well later in the evening. A long conversation. We'll talk about that. He also wants to tell Bowie Jane about their final four, the final four between Matt and Jag and Cirie and Felicia. He wants to reveal potentially to Bowie Jane that they've got this little final four, because he's worried that if Cirie really has sold them out, that Cirie will spill the beans on that alliance and try to drive a wedge between Bowie Jane and Matt and Jag. So he wants to get ahead of it and actually say something to her first. We'll see how that goes. You got to spin that the right way. But I understand why he wants to do it. You have to be careful about the way you present that. We already know Bowie Jane's a little bit nervous, was nervous last week about being a pawn. If she finds out that they've had this other final four, that may make her a little nervous as well. Matt, the voice of reason in this room right now, is suggesting to Jag, saying, I get it all. Yeah, everything. Yeah. But what if we wait until after the double eviction on Thursday? We know Blue's going home this week. Well, we aren't changing that. Send her out the door. Let's get through the double eviction. Then we'll deal with all this other stuff. I absolutely agree with Matt at this point in time. Don't gum it all up. Don't cause all the chaos. You've got a game plan in place. Just make it happen. You can make your decision a little bit later. Even if you wait until Wednesday, figure out what you're going to do in the second half of a double, assuming Matt wins it or whatever, you can figure out then. You don't need to do everything tonight. So Matt's trying to kind of slow Jag's roll down just a little bit. They are worried that America could tell Felicia that Blue was a target from the start. They're not worried about this week. They're saying, yeah, America will play with us this week because we're going to save her. She's not going to do anything to jeopardize since she's on the block. But they're saying next week, though, she may be a lot more willing to reveal information that she may tell if she's on the block again. She may tell Felicia that Blue is a target, or if Felicia is HOH, that they may tell Felicia that Blue is a target from the start. They left Felicia out of the discussion. She's the only person who didn't know. Try to get the target away from America and onto Matt and Jag. Well, I think the target's already a little bit on Matt and Jag, more so than they realize, but they are worried that America, as much as they can trust her perhaps this week, going forward may not be the same situation after this week. All right, so as a result of that, Jag just trying to complicate everything as he tends to always do. Jag is now talking about a Final Four with Bowie and America, or a Final Three with America. The idea, let's pull America in, let's get her feeling as comfortable as possible with us, so that it's not just this week, but it's going forward. So she doesn't reveal information. She doesn't try to flip over to the other side. Let's maybe pull her in. So they've already got Final Four with Felicia and Cirie. They've already got a Final Three with Bowie and Matt and Jag. Now he's talking about let's pull America in, have another alliance as well. So yeah, we got a lot of alliances being proposed or in place at this point, and Jag's looking at another one. As I mentioned, I just feel like Jag is overcomplicating this at this point in time. He's making all of these plans without even really knowing yet whether Felicia is telling the truth or not about what Cirie did or didn't say to Blue, but he's figured it all out based on what he thinks is the case. That's good. He's in a good position. I think Jag is in a very good position to make it to the end. But some of this stuff could certainly create some wrinkles if he's getting a bad read, making some assumptions based on that. He probably needs to do a little fact checking, but he's complicating it a little bit more probably than he needs to right now, but he's certainly making plans. All right. With all of that going on a little bit later, we now have Felicia in the storage room telling a very similar story to Matt, saying that Cirie thinks that Jag is lying about their Final Four, that it's not really a Final Four with Cirie and Felicia, that Cirie doesn't think it is, that Cirie has told Felicia that Jag has become the new Cameron, that Cirie is trying to get everyone to go after Jag. So yeah, Felicia very much throwing Cirie under the bus at this point in time. She's not just trying to reel Cirie back into the group. Nah, she's throwing her under the bus. Matt is telling Cirie, say, yeah, no, she's just getting paranoid. I wish she wouldn't do that. I wish she would chill out. She's just getting paranoid when she's saying all this stuff. Well, Cirie actually is reading the room much better than Felicia is. But obviously Matt's not going to tell Felicia that. Yeah, she's just paranoid. Don't worry about Felicia. We're good. No worries whatsoever. Felicia's worried because, and mentioned this to Matt. She says she's worried because Jag had told her that if Blue comes off the block, that Bowie Jane would go up, which is absolutely what Felicia wants to hear. But supposedly he told Blue that if she came off the block, if she wins the veto and comes off the block, it's not Bowie Jane going up, it's Felicia that's going up on the block. And Felicia doesn't want to be hearing that. Matt response says, look, Jag is not going to put you up, Felicia. You're good. You're good. Matt is not. There's no way he's going to do that. Now, he's going to keep the noms the same, unless you just keep going on and on, Felicia. And then who knows what happens between now and Monday. But she's worried that different people have been told different things, and one of those things involves her name going on the block, and Matt said, yeah, you're good, don't worry about Felicia. All right, Felicia is also saying that Cirie is convinced that they want Blue out on Thursday. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, that's absolutely the case. And also, Cirie is convinced that Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane have a Final Three. Ding, ding, ding again. Yes, indeed, Cirie has read the room. Felicia has incorrectly read the room. So yeah, she's revealing all of this to Matt. After she leaves the storage room, Matt kind of has a look on his face like, What did she just tell me? So yeah, he's now in as well. She's told Jag, now she's told Matt also. All right, we've got Cirie and Felicia talking a little bit later. Cirie saying that if she's blue, there's nothing that Matt and Jag could have ever said to her that would convince her to agree to go on the block or willingly go on the block at this point in time. So again, it's Cirie's belief that that they would not put Blue on the block like this if they didn't plan to send her out the door. So she's still arguing that with Felicia. Felicia saying it's nothing more than jury management on Jag's part. He didn't want to get new blood on his hands. It makes sense why he put Blue up. Blue understands that. Blue is fine with it. And Cirie saying, all right, well, you say that. When Jag comes to us at some future point this week and asks us to flip the vote and send out Blue, I'm going to tell you, Felicia, to shut up at that point in time. Well, here's the thing. They don't even need to ask Cirie and Felicia to flip the vote. They've got it in hand already. They've already got Bowie. They've already got Matt, and Jag is the tiebreaker. They do not even need Bowie and Felicia's votes to make this thing happen. But she's already saying, I'm going to tell you so, Felicia, when it all happens. They both are agreeing that they need to take the shot at Jag during double eviction, that's their last chance. One of them has to win and make this thing happen and get Jag out the door, or else they're not going to be able to do anything with it. Cirie is saying that hopefully, she thinks Blue's a target, but she's saying hopefully Blue stays, since she has a much better chance of winning than America, because we've got to take the shot this week, or else it probably into the game for us real quickly. So we've got that. All right, we finally did have the house guest getting dinner, the naan bread that Blue cooked. I think Blue also was at least partially involved in cooking the chicken breast, the cream and spices and everything else. Jag spent a lot of time coming down and kind of making suggestions on a little more spice here and there and things. So he's tried to do what he can to help out. But the house guests got their dinner. And just as they get to dinner, the backyard opens up and they discover they've got a grill in the backyard. Congratulations. We got a grill for Labor Day for like 6 hours, just long enough to cook up a bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers and everything, which was fantastic. I enjoyed it, but looks like they may have a grill for a little bit longer. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they better get cooking while they can, but they've got a grill, so they're planning to use that here before too long. They're talking about they got a lot of hot dogs that no one eats, but maybe they're going to cook them up at this point in time. All right, a little bit later, we got conversation with Jag and America playing pool. This is actually a little bit later, late into the evening, but Jag and America are playing pool. They're staying on good terms, and Jag had talked earlier about needing to stay tighter with America, and so he's certainly doing that, and they seem to be getting along with each other. Jag is saying, look, the only issue I really ever had with you, America, was that you just reveal information, reveal things that I said. And, I certainly didn't like that, but that's the only reason I've ever had to be a little frustrated with you. And he says, I know I did that at the very beginning of the season, but I kind of haven't done that lately. And she says, oh, well, I'm reevaluating everything. I think America says at one point, I came in, my one big strategy was not to give too much information to anyone else. And she said, then I just blab along. And she says, hey, I know it's only been 2 days, but I'm reevaluating. I'm not going to do that anymore. We'll see. But they were on good terms. It very much seems like certainly they're on board with watching out for each other. I don't think she's going anywhere this week. And so good conversation taking place between them while they're playing pool. All right, we do have Matt and Jag talking a little bit. Matt is questioning why, if Cirie really told Blue that she was the target if she didn't win veto, then why is Blue not freaking out more? Or why is she not freaking out at all at this point in time? It just doesn't make sense. Jag is saying that he thinks Blue is just pretending, that she's hiding her, fears and worry and all of that. And he just doesn't think that Felicia would ever make up something like that. And Matt's saying, I just don't think that Blue's that good at hiding emotions, hiding things. I don't think that's the way Blue would be operating if she truly thought she was a target at this point in time. I got to go with Matt on that one. I don't think there's any way that would possibly happen, which suggests that maybe Cirie did tell Blue that, and Blue doesn't believe it, that Blue thinks that's just Cirie trying to drive some wedges or something. It could be something along those lines as well. But at the end of it, you really do have Matt very much defending Cirie and Jag very much believing Felicia and kind of being a little more animosity towards Cirie. So a little bit of a disagreement between these two on this. All right, we've got Felicia and Jag talking a little bit more. Felicia's kind of restating some of the things that were said earlier. A lot of the same conversations and comments and everything that she'd said earlier. But she's now saying that Cirie, when this conversation took place where Cirie supposedly told Blue, she's saying that it was, I guess, right at the veto ceremony itself, the veto draw, I assume, that Cirie hugged Blue at the veto draw and said that at that time, she said, you better win this veto or you're going home. So it now sounds like it was a little bit more of just a quick little offhanded comment as opposed to maybe Cirie going in, setting Blue down and saying, this is where it's at. It was a little bit more just her hugging her. And so maybe because of that, Blue didn't take it as seriously or take it as a fact as much as just Cirie encouraging someone. I don't know. I'm throwing in my own opinions on there, but she has said it took place at the veto draw ceremony when Blue and Cirie hugged each other. Felicia's also saying that there's some kind of concern. Felicia and Bowie Jane were talking about pictures and memories and past events in the house and just kind of reminiscing, I think is a word that Felicia used. Well, Cirie saw them doing that. And later Cirie kind of called out Felicia, said y'all were strategizing, or at least Blue thinks Blue's going to take that as y'all were strategizing. And so calling out Cirie a little bit. Calling out Felicia a little bit. So now Felicia's telling Jag, saying, she's all worried about this. And we were just talking about memories in the house. And now Cirie is suggesting that I'm strategizing with Bowie. And what do I have going on there? And it just seems like Felicia's trying to, she's worried about everything that people are saying about her. And she's trying to get it all shut down. That maybe Cirie is telling people that she's strategizing with Bowie. I couldn't even follow it, but she's very worried about the way this conversation with Bowie Jane may look to other people and what people are saying about that. So she's talked to Jag a little bit about that. Jag is telling Felicia, he's saying, look, I appreciate you because you tell me a lot of stuff that you don't even need to tell me. And yet you always come to me and tell me that. He says, you're the only one I'm rocking with at this point in time. Felicia says something about, well, you're my only mustard seed in here, Jag. So they're both kind of kissing up to each other. I don't think either one absolutely means it. I know they don't mean it, but they're trying to stay close to one another. So again, she's giving him a little bit more information based on, in addition to what she told him earlier. All right, later we've got Felicia telling Cirie that, yeah, she talked to Jag just a little bit, and that the plan is still to send America home. Well, maybe not so much, Felicia. All right, we've got at one point Jag just kind of mumbling to himself, talking to himself, thinking that Matt and Bowie and Felicia, they're not going to be coming after him. He can't compete in HOH, but he doesn't think that any of those three would be coming after him. He feels pretty good that he's tight with Felicia now after this conversation, so he's not worried about that. He is worried about Blue and Cirie and America. He's saying Blue can go. Blue needs to go right now. He's saying Cirie can stay for right now. And he wants to try to talk to America some more and to continue to make sure that she's good with him, which is what he did playing pool with her. And he's going to continue to do so. So do what he can, damage control with Cirie, with America, get Blue out the door, and he'll deal with Cirie a little bit later. All right, we've got Bowie and Jag talking to one another. This is getting late in the evening. I think everyone else pretty much is in bed, asleep. Now, I know America was downstairs laying in bed, but lights on, and she's just contemplating everything. Definitely not sleeping, but she's downstairs. But Bowie and Jag are upstairs talking. Bowie is suggesting that Jag should tell Felicia, and probably Blue as well, after the veto meeting, once everything's set in stone, that at that point, Jag really ought to tell Blue and Felicia that what's going on, that Blue is going home, that it's not America, that she doesn't want to see a blindside take place at this point in time. Jag is agreeing. He's saying, you're probably right. We probably shouldn't be blindsiding people who are finalists, who are jurors. So yeah, that's something we'll talk about, but I see your point on that. Jag is also saying that they all need to stay close to America this week, that she could be the wild card. He didn't know if she'd come after them or not, but they need to keep her close and see if they can keep that from happening. And remember, there still is talk about maybe trying to make some kind of alliance with her as well. And then Bowie is also saying that Felicia that she thinks Felicia will take the big shot against Matt and Jag if she can. She says even if it's not best for her game, she'll do it just for the show, just for the drama of it. She'll come after the two of y'all. So y'all need to watch out for this. And this is taking place up in the HOH room. I think Matt's in the shower. So the two of them are talking, but then Matt joins them as well. So now we've got kind of the final discussion of the evening. Matt and Jag and Bowie are all talking together. They're rehashing all the conversations. Bowie Jane wasn't aware of a lot of what Felicia spilled to Matt and Jag. So they're filling her in on everything that took place. They don't think that Cirie will take a shot at them. But they do wonder if maybe she would talk to someone else, like Felicia into taking a shot, perhaps, or America. So, but they don't think that Cirie would come after either one of the three of them. Who do they think Cirie would target? Felicia? Well, if she finds out what Felicia did, maybe so. But Felicia or America, I think she wants to try to work with America. But they're feeling pretty comfortable that they're tight with Cirie, at least for right now, that Cirie won't come after them. That's not the case, guys. If Cirie wins the HOH, we know exactly who Cirie is coming after. And it's not America, and it's not Felicia. But they're feeling comfortable with Cirie right now. They are a little bit more worried again about America and Blue, or the two big ones they're worried about. Jag wants to stay solid with Felicia to make sure that she doesn't do something like that. There is a discussion about America. They're worried that if Felicia, and this was talked about a little earlier, they're worried that Felicia wins HOH, that America would then tell Felicia about this plan to keep Blue from the very beginning, that Felicia was the only person in the house that wasn't aware of it, that was played the fool, and that she'll do everything she can to really turn Felicia against Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane. So they are worried about that. They said with Cirie, they're going to pull back a little bit. Cirie suspects or knows that they're going to target Blue. They said at this point in time, they're going to pull back. They're going to tell her, say, and now we know, who has the veto. The veto is probably not going to be used. But as far as Blue versus America, we don't know what we're going to do, Cirie. They're going to try to convince her that it's still very much up in the air at this point in time. And the reason they're going to do that is they want to see which way Cirie's going to want to go. If they say they're up in the air, if they ask Cirie what they should do, they want to see if Cirie suggests that maybe they should go ahead and get out Blue, or is she going to stick with going against America? And that's going to help guide them in terms of how tight they think Cirie and Blue are, and how they need to deal with that, and how much they can trust Cirie based on that answer. So it's going to be a bit of a test to see which way Cirie wants to go. They do realize as they talk that Cirie knows that the three of them are in a final three. She told Felicia that, and Felicia didn't believe it. But they know that Cirie realizes that Matt and Jag and Bowie Jane are indeed a final three. But they finally say, who cares? At this point in time, does it really matter that there's only going to be 6 of us left? Does it really matter? And Jack saying, we'll just draw the line even harder. It is what it is at this point in time, which is true. You don't need to be getting too fancy when you have so few people in the house. All right. We finally have Bowie Jane calls it a night, leaves, and we finally have a very quick conversation between Matt and Jag. Jag saying that everyone wants America to take the shot against them next week. They're basically going to talk to America and say, everyone expects you to come after us. Why are you going to do their dirty laundry for them? Their favorite term of the season, their dirty laundry. Why would you come after them? They all want you to. They expect you to. They want you to get the blood on your hands, do all that. We don't want you to do that. We want to work with you instead. Jag is coming with the idea. He says, I promised her that she'd be safe if she agreed to keep us safe, or actually she agreed to keep us safe in exchange for us keeping her safe. He said, so we've got this little agreement. He says, but why does it have to be right now? He said, let's carry it on forward. And he's saying, I'll basically promise her to continue protecting her if she'll continue protecting me. And he said, and I'll keep that promise. I'm not even competing in HOH, so I'm not going to have any power this week. He said, if you or Bowie Jane goes after her, well, that's not me. So he's getting a little sneaky on it. But basically, they are trying to talk about the idea that let's continue to promise her safety. If she promises us safety, we'll keep her close together and see if we can't keep her from becoming a threat to us. And if that's the case, then they only really have to worry about, Felicia and Cirie and everyone else in the house. But they're gonna try to keep America close. At one point, Jag is was it Jag or Matt? I think it may have been Matt saying, "Oh, this is great. We've got You, Jag, me, Matt, and Bowie, the three of us versus Felicia and Cirie and America. And they're counting out the comp wins for them versus comp wins for Felicia, Cirie, and America, which would be 1, if I recall, and thinking that they really have this in hand. 3 versus 3. They're fine with those numbers. They think they can run this thing to the end. And I got to say, I think they probably could at this point in time. We'll see. A lot of it's going to depend on these last few competitions. Are they physical? Are they mental? I think Felicia could be a little bit better at some of these mental comps than they expect. We'll find out. So there you have it, guys. It turns out a lot more talk and conversation than I'd probably expected after the veto, and a lot of it driven by Felicia just not able to keep her mouth closed and spilling the beans to Jag and Matt about what Cirie may or may not have said to Blue. We'll see what the continuing repercussions are going forward through today. Tomorrow, we've got the veto ceremony. I don't expect it to change regardless of these conversations, but certainly it could affect the rest of the week going forward as people start talking and making more overcomplicated plans and everything else. We'll find out. But until then, guys, y'all have a fantastic Sunday. I will be here tomorrow morning to give y'all the recap on what else happened with all the talking going on in this house. Until then, SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.